normal.
Crazy. Yeah, man. So, as you guys can hear, that is super fire. And for those of you that do not know, I actually dropped a tape previously, and this was one of the beats inside the tape. You guys can actually check that out on Spotify and every other streaming platform, basically, you know. So yeah, I am going to run you guys through the whole thing and what's actually happening here. So I started off with this Amapiano drum loop, and I layered that up with another one. So this is the drum loop. This is how it sounds. By the way, this is actually not how these drums sound. I remember, like, the first time I had to strip off some, you know, I had to take off. I think there was a particular conga in the loop that I took off. So I took that off before consolidating it again. Then after that is another Amapiano loop too. So that's with this guy sounds like this. Once I heard that, I was already catching a vibe, you know. I was already feeling it, and I'm like, okay, so I could actually work with this. So I added some extra Amapiano loop. This is really, really groovy, you know. Then another one. This one is actually like that's this, and okay, no one actually has any type of effect. The drums are actually raw like that, you know. Then after that, it's an extra Amapiano loop again. So this one is actually clap. Then here is this particular one has some type of transient shaper on it, but it was off, so I have to get that shit back again. Yeah, turn down the sustain. Mhm. So as soon as this was playing in loop, I actually looped it like this, and I was playing it over and over and over again, and I just was thinking, what type of melody should I play on this, Then this melody came to me, and I mean, I started humming it, And as soon as I started humming that, I picked up my phone, I recorded that on my phone recorder, and I'm going to play that so you guys could hear. So after recording the vocal on my phone, I imported it on my computer, and there is this amazing AI tool that Google actually made. I mean, shout out to Google. They always have this is called Google Tone Transfer. So I went to Google Tone Transfer, and they have different types of instruments you could import and turn them to. You could actually import your vocals and turn them to instruments. So I actually hummed that, and while I was recording it, the drums were actually passing through. I mean, my drums were playing out loud, so I was recording with my phone. So both the drums entered the recording, so I had to do a lot of processing. Then I imported it here. I added, you could actually add your own, your own up or your own clip, and it should just be 15 seconds. And once I did that, I converted it. I think I converted my humming to a violin and imported it back on my Fruity Loops, and that shit sounded fire. So after being processed, I'm going to run you guys I have tube tech on it. I have and filter, and I mean this was after it has gone through a lot of processing, which some of them I can't remember now, but I think there's EQ, there's reverb, but I'm going to play so you guys hear what this shit sounds like. Crazy. I mean, I didn't want to play that. I had that in mind. It's either a flute or a cello, but I knew if I had to play that, I had this particular thing in my head. I know in my head I knew how I wanted it to come out. I wanted it to sound like vintage, like a radio, like vintage radio that's playing, that's about to coil, like back in the days, that when you play from the cassettes, and it's so I wanted to have that vintage feel, and I didn't want to use RC20 whatever. I wanted to do it with my vocals. So while I was humming, I was kind of mimicking oh yeah, I'm sure you get what I mean, but yeah, that shit sounded fire, and together it sounds like this. That is fire. Freaking fire. So after that, I had to, add more melody to it. So I put up my lounge lizard and I played this chord to back it up. has micro shifts for image to separate the, stereo widening type of vibe, and it has retro color for vintage vibe, and after that, so this was the flute. This was from a contact library that I cannot remember, but yeah. Then there's a crash here and there. There's a storm hit here before the crash. Then moving on. Then the drum fill, then comes a bass line and a string. So here we have this guy playing. GMS going through decapitator, going through kickstart, and kickstart is not even on, so I have to put that shit on. I mean, my FL Studio just updated, so I don't know why that shit is acting weird. Once again, I play from the top.
This beat ain't normal.
So there's a string, purity string. I use this guy most of the time when I want to play my strings, So this is the part B, where there's a log drum. Usually there's part A, there's part B, so the part B has some more instruments that are coming in. And I mean, like I always say, try to engage your listeners by introducing like more stuff as time goes, using automation, using panning, just make everything more interesting, because if it's not interesting, they might just keep your record, so yeah. So here the same GMS bass I played earlier, I exported that as consolidated that, then some parts I'm taking it off, it's like here, off, come back again, off, come again, off, vibe, just vibe, then after that, I mean, this is already playing, and this is a flute too from Purity. Just one long thing like that. And it should have kickstart on it too. I always use dock or kickstart. Because that's where the kick is coming. I already explained that. If you've been following up, you should know, like, that gives your kick more. It's like docking. It's like side chaining. You need more. It gives your record more groove too. So why? Because I have a vocal here. I have a vocal effects here. But before then, it's the log drum. So I'll turn off the snare and play just. Do you notice the A and B? Do you notice the before and after? She got more punchier, more heavier, more crisp, more, I don't know, man. So that's because I have black box and decapitator, and that's basically this. Then the snare is also doing the same exact thing, backing it up. I probably won't use this snare now, but yeah, that works then. So those are some vocal from Vego Deep, and that's Vigro Deep. I don't know if that's how. Pardon me, man, if I did not pronounce that shit well, but I mean, those vocals were fire, so I had to use it, And I mean, here is an extra instrument, which is like the usual Amapiano. And this is like, I think is a stock FL Studio stock saxophone, you know. So that is just a chop from a drum roll. So only that part, I took only that part. Oh, I skipped something here. Oh, so that's just a variation on the string on that particular place. That's like the ending part, because I mean, like I say, you have to always introduce something. So I introduced something there to make everything more louder even before they are silent. And I mean, you could hear they are silent here, you know. That's silent completely before the beat came back again. Yeah, but I mean, for the string and the extra string that played, I wanted to play both of them together. So, and I'm going to strip off some stuff so you could hear that properly, you know. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Benjams Illbeats. Subscribe to my channel if you've not. If you want this FLP, sign up for my Patreon, and you can have this FLP, and it's yours, and you can do whatever you want to do with it, you know. Yeah, so let's go. Peace to those that want peace. Yeah.